it was a big game Saturday. It was a big game. Arsenal versus Chelsea. Don, I'm going to you first because you guys played very well for 75 minutes. 2-0 lead. Didn't quite get the victory. And I've seen a mixture of feelings from Chelsea fans. Some proud and excited of what's to come. Others, for instance, Carefree Lewis, absolutely fuming that the team threw it away and unhappy with essentially how you played in the entirety. Where do you stand on this game, mate?
Yeah. I thought it feels like a loss. Even now, it still feels like a loss. I was at the game with Lewis. You know what I'm saying? I saw Lewis doing his fan cam, big him up. But, bro, it feels like a loss, man. I think we were the better team, you know. The game plan that Poch put out, it worked. It was perfect. We pressed them off the park. You know, the atmosphere at the bridge was rocking as well. And Arsenal literally couldn't put two passes together. I think we rattled them at the beginning. Even if you look at guys like Saliba, he looked a little bit shaky. Gabriel didn't, seem himself. Declan Rice within the first 5 minutes, giving a back pass away. Jorginho looked uncomfortable pretty much all game. So I think the game plan was perfect, Terry. It worked. You know what I mean? And was beating them comfortably as well. Arsenal fans will say, "Oh, we had majority of the ball," but they weren't doing anything with it. You know, for the time that they had that ball, I never felt that they were going to create any threat. Saka, he was locked up by Cucurella majority of that game. Martinelli as well, he was locked up by Gusto. For me, Gusto would have been man of the match if it wasn't for that mistake that he caused there for the second goal. Right, you should have a little bit more awareness. But overall, he had Martinelli locked up. Do you know what I'm saying? And in a stupid brain fart moment from Sanchez, just completely flipped the game. Because I was sitting next to a guy, I said, "Listen, it's not looking good now. Arsenal are looking like they're gonna score." Do you know what I'm saying? He was like, "Oh no, it'll be all right." I said, "Nah, man, the momentum's completely swung here." And then they go and do that, Saka over world-class assist. So for me, it feels like a loss because I wanted to win this game. And I predicted that we were going to beat Arsenal 2-1 as well. Do you know what I'm saying? When a lot of these Arsenal fans were being, coming on here arrogant, Rory, you being one of them. You know, the other day I was listening to the Terrace, obviously, when, who was it? I think his name's Alex, when he came on. I listened to what he said. He literally said the midfield of Caicedo, Gallagher, and Enzo is better than any pairing that you can put up right now, because we've literally seen evidence of that midfield working for us and being effective for us. But the first thing that you lot did was look at football on paper. We know Gallagher's not as good as these guys, but off the ball, like I've been saying, he's a bully. He's a big bully off the ball. Do you know what I'm saying? And he was going to be effective for us in that midfield, and he helped us play the way that we were playing. Him and Palmer were very good for us in that game. Do you know what I mean? And I don't really rate Gallagher on the ball. You've heard me criticizing him, Terry, on the ball. I want him to improve, and if he carries on improving, I'm here to be proven wrong. Do you know what I mean? But off the ball, I can't fault him because he works hard and he presses. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, Rory, you got to take that. You got to take that L there because you were wrong about that. We bossed you in the midfield, and we should have won this game. You know, and if it wasn't for that stupid mistake, we'd be sitting here talking about a Chelsea win. You know, so how I look at it right now, there's a lot of positives to take from it. You know, I think one thing about Arsenal fans is I know you guys have leveled up. I know you're good, but I've been speaking about it all season. You haven't been convincing. Your best winners come up against a Bournemouth team that are rubbish, right? And every single person here should be beating them. People in the chat are going to say, "Oh, well, Chelsea drew against them." I know we drew against them, but we should have battered them. Within the first 10, 15 minutes, we should have been at least 3-0 up against Bournemouth. But overall, Arsenal aren't building up better than Chelsea right now. The stats prove it as well, and the eye test. They're lacking the fluidity right now. Do you know what I mean? It's just that they've been taking their chances a little bit more than Chelsea have. That's the main difference with Arsenal right now. So Arsenal, you're not this team that you think you are. You've still got a lot of growing to do in the season. I think you've got good players, but you overrate your team a lot. And what Arsenal fans do as well, Terry, they like to dismiss the quality that other teams have. You know, I had people talking crazy like we've still got Jorginho and Kovacic in the midfield. I warned them about Caicedo and what he was going to do in that game. It wasn't his best game, to be honest, but he was stopping that ball from going to Jesus a lot. If you realize in that game, Jesus hardly did anything. And Caicedo was the reason for that because he was screening that midfield. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, I'm still annoyed even now thinking about the result. We should have won that game, but we move from this. We move from this because we've got tough games coming up. So we move from this, man. I think Arsenal fans need to humble themselves a little bit more. You're not the team that you think you are. You're really not.
You done?
You want to go next, Rory?
Yeah, Rory. You can go, Rory.
Look. I was vocal on here before the game, and things didn't go the way I thought they were going to go. The midfield argument, I think, is questionable because I would never have put Jorginho in the midfield, and I thought he was quite a big weakness that game. Don't know why Partey didn't play. I think it would have been a different game if he did. But I give massive credit to Chelsea. I thought Poch lined them up very, very well. I thought especially, I thought the big factor in the game was that we couldn't really build up in the way that we normally do. Like, it took us until, the 70-odd minute to get a shot on target. And a big factor of that, I thought, was actually Conor Gallagher kind of moving to further forwards than Mudryk when they were out of possession and kind of playing in that left forward role. And then Mudryk going between Ben White and Saka further deeper. And it massively neutralised that right-hand side. Ødegaard, Ben White, Saka. That triangle is normally so good. It wasn't. And credit to Chelsea for that. Credit to Poch for that. I actually thought taking Mudryk off as early as he did ended up being quite costly. If you look at where our second goal came from, down that side, where Saka got a bit of space that he hadn't had for the rest of the game. So, fair play to Chelsea. I do think saying, if it hadn't been for a mistake, you'd have won the game. That's like saying, well, if it hadn't been for a questionable penalty and a fluky cross, it would have been Arsenal would have won. Like there's lots of ifs and buts and maybes. Ultimately,
not really. We were more threatening than you on the wings. We were beating your fullbacks. You couldn't beat our fullbacks, bro. You couldn't. And up, like I said, up until that stupid mistake, you weren't creating nothing. I was at the game, bro, and I was talking to the people around me, right? And we didn't feel that Arsenal were going to do anything. We had the game. We were controlling the game. You had the ball, but we literally had our shape was perfect. It's been spot on. And that's one thing. And that's one thing. I know we didn't win the game, but I'm talking about Rory saying, "Oh, you don't know if that would have happened." But I'm saying that our game plan was working, bro. We were defending very well.
But I didn't think that Arsenal were particularly out of control either. I thought that it was kind of a game that I thought it would be in terms of neither team was creating much. Other than Palmer's shot that went just wide, you were 2-0 up, having effectively had a cross that was going to come to nothing, but you get a handball penalty out of it, and a cross that ended up going in directly. It was a fluke. Like outside of Cole Palmer's shot that went just wide, neither team created really anything.
How is it a fluke? I mean, if you put the ball in a dangerous area, anything like that can happen. You scored a similar goal against.
All right. It wasn't a fluke, man. It wasn't a fluke.
You buy your own luck. Saka did the same thing to us a few seasons ago when he lobbed Kepa. You buy your own luck. If you whip the ball in into a dangerous area, anything like that can happen.
Come on, Don. Mudryk, with all due respect, it was a fluke. I'm happy, I'll take it, but he didn't mean it. That is a Raya mistake. That's a Raya mistake. Let's keep it real.
I'm not saying he meant it. All I'm saying is if you whip it into the area, in a dangerous area like that, right, with that sort of technique, anything like that can happen.
No, come on, don't do that. Don't do that. No.
Don't do that.
It was Mudryk tried to cross it. He misjudged the cross, and it ended up actually just going over because that was all Raya. Mudryk tried to cross, and luckily, because of Raya's horrible positioning, it went in. I'll take it. I'm happy, but let's keep it a stack. It was meant to be a cross, which he technically got wrong, but it ended up looping over a keeper who was horribly positioned. That is all on Raya. That's just a fact. So but okay. So sorry, Rory. Sorry, continue. Rory.
No, I was just going to say that cross, if he gets it any more wrong, it goes over the crossbar for a goal kick, and you say that's a bad cross and wasted an opportunity. Like,
I would say that. But that didn't happen.
But one cross that ends up looping in. Like, I'm sure when Saka did it to Chelsea, you weren't saying that Arsenal deserved it and that it was, deserved for a great cross. So I'm being honest. I'm being fair, I think. I'm saying Chelsea were better than Arsenal. We didn't deserve a win, certainly, out of the game. Poch got a lot of things right. The midfield was very good. I'll tell you everything you want to hear, but let's not pretend that Chelsea absolutely dominated the game, were creating loads of chances, because they weren't, factually.
You know what? Do you know what I think? Just before you go
so can I just real quick from Mario. So look, Missy, from what that's the best 70 minutes that Chelsea have played probably in years. It just shows you how trash Chelsea have been. The game is 90 minutes, not 70 minutes. So, and that is the worst. That's probably the worst I've seen Arsenal under at Arteta, I think, in years. So that's why it makes it so frustrating, because it feels like a loss, because Chelsea played so well. Arsenal played the worst they played in ages, and it's still 2-2. Because at the end of the day, all that matters is the results. If you're Arsenal, based on how the game, in the biggest sense of the word, if you're going for the title, Arsenal should feel unhappy because they don't want to win the game. Smaller sense of the word, Arsenal should feel happy, like, wait a minute, we played the worst we played in years, and we still got a 2-2 draw. Because at the end of the day, you have a triple agency, Robert Sanchez, who gave away the game. And you're dominating a team. They get a goal back. Why are you taking off both of your best attacking players in Sterling and Cole Palmer? At least leave one of them on, so there's a bit of a counter attack. That changed the whole freaking game.
Havo, Palmer was tired, bro. I said the exact same thing. But when I watched
please,
it
get
back,
there. Look, no, stop
tired,
it.
bro.
Okay, so you take both of them off.
Nah, I agree. You should have left one of them on. You should have left one of them on. But Palmer was gone, bro. Tired.
Done. I think we're doing too much here. What I feel with Chelsea is you just need to get that third goal. Because correct me if I'm wrong, 2-0 up. You have Palmer that should have put the ball back in net when Ryan gifted it to him. You had Cole that had a free header, pretty much. And you had Jackson that tried to round the keeper. And I was saying to my brother watching the game, right? This either ends 2-0 Chelsea or Arsenal draw this 2-2, or Arsenal maybe even go on to win. Because there's extra 10 minutes, I think Arsenal going to win that game. I just feel it was a lack of experience. Sanchez isn't used to being in them high-pressure moments. Chelsea needed the third just to be a cushion, because we all know 2-0 is the most dangerous scoreline, especially when you've got two teams that are similar level. Because once you get that one goal, the pendulum swings, the momentum shifts, and I just feel you lot needed that third. I said, you know what? If Chelsea don't get this third, I know Sanchez gifted it to Rice, but if Chelsea don't get this third, Arsenal will get a result here, and it happened. I just felt it would happen.
Yeah, man, you got to know when to take risks. You know what I mean? Sanchez, you should know better there, man. Like, number one, it was a hospital pass, and number two, like, again, Gallagher on the ball isn't great. Why would you try and play it to him in that position when he's got Declan Rice? No, bro, Enzo wasn't involved in that, bro. People were saying Enzo, it was Gallagher. Gallagher was the one that was further up. He skipped past Enzo. It was a poor pass. Skipped past Enzo, and then Gallagher, he was flat-footed. Declan Rice just came and just whipped it. It was a great finish, by the way. Really, really good finish, yeah. But again, you got to know when to take risks, bro. In a situation like that, just go long if you have to. Go long if you need to. Do you know what I'm saying? Don't try and risk it and play out from the back every single time. This is what I always say about Brighton. They just do the same thing every single time, and they get caught out here and there. The game was under control there. There was no need to try and play that pass there, especially to Gallagher. He should have just cleared that. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's annoying, man. It's frustrating.
I'm not a fan of this passing out from the back crap. Like, I'm not. I want my keeper to actually be a keeper, because I think what you saw from both of these teams is this whole modern keeper thing is trash. Bro, David Seaman, in case some of you young guys may not even know, David Seaman, that was a keeper. I can't remember David Seaman making any amazing shots or long passes, but in terms of shot stopping, handling, and actually being calm as a keeper, he did his freaking job. Because my thing is, I don't even know what Rory feels about the whole Raya Ramsdale thing. Bro, Ramsdale is making freaking saves. So you're breaking in Raya because he's good with his feet. If Palmer was better, that's it. Another Raya mistake playing out from the back and Palmer scores. For freaking Sanchez, this dude was the third choice keeper for Brighton. Is he known to be good with his feet? Because again, you have to know when to make the right choice. But I feel that all of these managers are all hipsters trying to copy Pep Guardiola. Oh, let's play from the back because that's a new evolution of football. Not every keeper is adept at playing from the back. And not every team have the players who are good in possession. So my thing is that if in doubt, just hit the ball long. You'll eventually get the ball back, because there is not enough data that shows that, if you play from the back, it increases your chances to score goals. That's BS. So
the thing is, Poch said the exact same thing, bro. He literally said, when he spoke about Sanchez, he said, look, like, it happens. But he did say, you've got to know when to take these risks. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think it was Poch that was telling him to do that every single time. I'm sure Poch wants us to play out from the back because we build up really well. You know what I mean? We was building up really well against Arsenal. But you got to know when to do that, bro. You have to know when to do that, man.
I want to